Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio, taking a look at your forecast as we head into this Wednesday morning. Dealing with some areas of fog early this morning as you head out the door, though it is beginning to lift and clear, especially here in Lincoln. Early this morning when I was up at 7, couldn't really see across the street, but now blue sky and some sunshine beginning to break out. So going to be talking about that. Going to be talking about chances for accumulating snow for parts of the state, over the course of the next several hours. Also going to be talking chances for rain as we head later this week and into the weekend. Temperatures maybe a little bit above average for us looking ahead to the next week. So look at a couple of those things here over the next few minutes. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. Starting off again, we do have a couple of fog-related alerts, dense fog advisories that are in place across the area. These were set to expire at 9 o'clock this morning. They've been extended until 10 o'clock, for the eastern sections of the state. So, still have some areas of patchy dense fog in far eastern Nebraska and just over the border into western Iowa. May run into that if you're heading out early this morning, so give yourself just a little bit of extra time and just a little bit of extra following distance as well. Just past 9 o'clock, visibility has improved in many areas, still down to around a half mile in Columbus, quarter mile in Norfolk, here in Lincoln, around 5 miles, down to about 0 in Hebron, 4 miles in Falls City, 2 miles in Omaha. So again, it's touch and go, it's patchy, but it is something we want to watch out for early this morning. You'll also notice some of the poor visibilities out west. That is thanks in part due to some areas of snow that are currently falling across those areas. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. We'd also have some winter weather alerts that are currently in place, winter weather advisories for the far southwestern portions of the state. So that is something, that we're going to keep an eye on. These areas likely see at least a little bit of accumulating snowfall as we head through the day today, and have been seeing it for the last several hours. I'm just pulling up some of the NDOT traffic cameras in the area, and they do have quite a bit of snow currently on the ground. Let's see if I can get this punched in here for you. Oh, come on. But this is the image that is currently from the NDOT traffic camera that is just east of Grant. So again, you can see accumulating snow there in parts of western and southwestern Nebraska. That's likely going to continue here over the next several hours. These winter weather advisories are in place. I believe it's through 11 o'clock Mountain Time this evening. Yep, 11 o'clock Mountain Time this evening for the southwestern corner of the state. That looks like maybe two different end times here in far southwestern Nebraska. It's actually through 5 a.m. Thursday morning Mountain Time for Keith County, Ogallala, Dual County, and I believe that's Chase County maybe, until 11 o'clock this evening. So again, late tonight into early Wednesday morning is when we have those winter weather alerts. So again, some light to moderate accumulating snow in those areas, some reduced visibility. Give yourself a little bit of extra time, especially probably along that stretch of Interstate 80 west of North Platte and then to the east of the Kimball area. Again, could lead to some tough travel conditions. So again, the snowfall potential looks like this. Again, 2 to 5 inches there in far southwestern Nebraska. North Platte might see a trace up to an inch of snow with this as it moves through as we head through the day today. Again, really the first accumulating snowfall of the season for parts for these areas, really, for western Nebraska, also across much of eastern Colorado into western Kansas as well. So, again, it is early November. It is that time of year for this, but again, something to keep an eye on here as we head over the next day. So back here at home, Lincoln Weather Almanac, again, yesterday, 55 and 37 for a high and low, which is pretty close to where we should be for this time of year. Picked up an additional 0.3 of an inch of moisture, and so now, through the first 5 days of November, we're at $1.35 for our rainfall, which actually is the 10th wettest start to November on record for us here in Lincoln. And again, we absolutely needed it, putting a good dent into our deficit that we did have. It was over 3 inches again this time last week, but now that yearly deficit, is about 1.75 inches. So again, that is what we like to see. Again, a lot of the moisture that we have seen will be reflected in the drought monitor that will be released tomorrow. And so hopefully we'll see some improvements in that drought monitor. Still need more moisture, though, and thankfully, again, there is more moisture that is still in the forecast, especially as we head late this week and into the weekend. So today and tomorrow, really, a fairly seasonal day, and generally dry for us here in Lincoln and eastern Nebraska, but those rain chances do return Friday, Saturday, and then generally looking like it could be a few degrees above average, maybe 5 to 10 degrees above average, as we head into the early part of the work week next week, so something we'll keep an eye on. So as I mentioned, we had been dealing with some fog here in Lincoln early this morning, but right now we are seeing some clouds, but also some blue sky out there right now. 42 at the airport, 43 here at the 1011 studios at 40th and Vine. Calm winds being reported, and again at the airport, visibility was being reported at 5 miles at the top of the hour. Again, looks a little bit better than that from our Skyview camera, again here in Midtown Lincoln. Temperatures across Lincoln generally sit in the low 40s for most locations. Again, we saw low temperatures down into the mid-30s for some spots, so already warming up at least a few degrees to start our Wednesday. Temperatures across the state anywhere from the low 30s to the low to mid-40s. Again, you'll notice, again, those temperatures where it's currently snowing, right around that freezing mark in Ogallala and Imperial, 29 right now in Sydney, 42 in Grand Island, 45 in Lexington. So, again, low 30s to low 40s as we start our Wednesday. Winds for the eastern half of the state are fairly quiet, a little bit stronger winds across the western half of the state out of the north at around 10 to 20 miles an hour, with some gusts between 25, 35 miles an hour. Again, so some blowing snow certainly possible in those areas where we do currently have snow that is falling that could continue to reduce those visibilities. Satellite and radar picture, again, looks like this. Again, you can see radar showing a pretty wide area of snow across, again, parts of the Sandhills into the Nebraska Panhandle, and then down across eastern Colorado into parts of western Kansas. Again, that rain-snow line is kind of right on the line there of Lincoln County in North Platte. I wonder if I have it, but we can actually punch up. This is currently the Skyview camera in North Platte right now. So again, no snow in North Platte, but again, we can see some raindrops there on the camera, and obviously you can see the cloudy overcast conditions. So no snow right now in North Platte, but again, there's at least snow, it looks like, at least according to the radar, some snow falling in parts, potentially, of Lincoln County out there in western Nebraska. And again, we obviously just showed you the NDOT image a second ago. This was the NDOT image east of Grant. Again, if I look at, I'm just looking at it right now, I-80 in Sydney has some snow on the ground down near Wanetta. This is near Enders, looking to the north. No snow on the ground, but wet roads. Benkelman, again, no snow on the ground, but wet roads. Hagler, I guess this is US 34 near Hagler in extreme southwest Nebraska. They have snow that's currently falling. So again, radar showing a lot of snow, not necessarily all snow reaching the ground, melting a little bit as it does, as again those surface temperatures are right around that freezing mark. You zoom out, look at a regional view. Again, you can see that band of rain and snow showers across western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, western Kansas. Otherwise, things are fairly quiet across much of the central part of the country. You zoom out, look at a national view. Broken line of showers and thunderstorms stretching from parts of west Tennessee through Kentucky up into the New England area. You zoom down a little bit further to the south and to the southeast, currently impacting Cuba and parts of the Caribbean. This is Hurricane Rafael, and Hurricane Rafael is expected to enter the Gulf as we head over the next couple days. But right now, forecasts for it do have it weakening as it does so. Right now, it is a Category 2 hurricane, though. So again, hurricane warnings are out for Cuba and into parts of the Caribbean. Expected to continue to push to the north and west through Cuba over the next day or so, potentially increasing to a Category 3, enters the Gulf, but then kind of fizzles out and weakens a little bit as it does so. The latest track here, this is just updated from when I looked at it before we caught on. The latest track here from the National Hurricane Center has a little bit more of a westward lean to it towards the very tail end. Again, and keep in mind this cone is the center of the storm could be anywhere within this cone, and you see it towards the tail end there. It is a pretty wide cone, so still it's indicative of quite a bit of uncertainty in where this storm is going to want to go by late this week and into the weekend. That's when it could potentially start impacting the U.S. coastal areas, whether it be from parts of southeast Texas to the Louisiana coast. Again, there's still a lot of uncertainty. But it is forecast to weaken, potentially down to back to a tropical storm by late this week and into the weekend after impacting Cuba here over the next 24 or so hours. So again, that's a storm we'll continue to watch here pretty closely over the next day or so. Taking a look at our weather alerts again nationally. Again, have some flood watches down in Georgia. Again, some tropical alerts down across the Florida Keys. You can see the winter storm warnings in pink there across the New Mexico area and the parts of Colorado. The dense fog advisories in the middle parts of the country. Western sections of the country right now fairly quiet for the most part. Again, zoom in, look at a regional view. Again, also still have some flood alerts across parts of southern Missouri. Again, those are areas that have seen quite a bit of rain over the course of the last week or so. We check out Skycast as we head through the day today. We'll keep an eye on those areas of rain and snow in the west. For Lincoln and eastern Nebraska, I think we'll be dealing with clouds through the day today. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy, but dry for the eastern half of the state through the day today. By 10 o'clock tonight, still some lingering light rain and possibly some light snow showers in the southwest. Most of the state, though, is dry with, again, partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then as we head into the day on Thursday, again, we can see that band of rain and snow showers continues to drift down to the south. We see dry conditions as we start our Thursday. I do think we see a mix of sun and clouds across the state through the day on your Thursday. And again, still some chances for a few spotty light rain showers Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening for parts of southwestern, south central Nebraska. That moisture would expect it to be fairly light. And again, that chance will continue as we head into the day on Friday as well. But we'll see a surge of moisture northward into the area, especially as we head Friday afternoon into the evening. And that will bring those rain chances back up for us here in Lincoln and eastern Nebraska. So again, kind of looking at some cloudy days continuing here over the next few days with those off and on rain chances. Again, especially for the southern half of the state, particularly in southwestern Nebraska, as we head again over the next few days. So the 7-day precipitation potential, so this is for the next week. This is November 6th through November 13th. And I think for, again, southwestern, south central Nebraska, a lot of this is going to be today, over the next day or so. But again, still looking at some fairly significant moisture potential across kind of the central plains into the southern plains as we head through the course of the next week. So again, if you zoom in on Nebraska, southern half of the state, again, over the course of the next week, could pick up another inch and a half of moisture. That tapers off a little bit as you head further to the north. But again, even northern Nebraska still has that opportunity to pick up a quarter to maybe 3/4 of an inch of moisture over the course of the next 7 days. So something we'll obviously keep an eye on. Highs today, it'll be chilly in the west with temperatures only reaching the upper 30s and low to mid 40s. A few degrees better across the eastern half of the state with highs in the lower to middle 50s. We'll go 56 here in Lincoln, 53 in Grand Island, only 42 in North Platte. Low temperatures tonight, anywhere from the low teens, chilly, cold, low teens to right around 40 degrees from west to east across the state. 37 tonight in Lincoln, 33 in Grand Island, 28 in North Platte, 14 in Scotts Bluff. High temperatures on Thursday. Again, a little bit warmer there in the west, but about the same in the east. Generally seeing highs in the lower to middle 50s across much of the 10-11 coverage area. Low temperatures into Friday morning, low 20s to right around 40 across the state. High temperatures on Friday, kind of more of the same. Generally in the lower to middle 50s across most of the state with some 40s mixed in there in the west and southwest. Saturday morning lows falling into the mid-30s to mid-40s. And then Saturday afternoon highs anywhere from the mid-40s to mid-50s with cloudy skies and, again, chances for rain in the forecast. 7-day forecast looks like this. Again, you can see pretty steady in the mid-50s through Saturday. Dry Wednesday, Thursday for Lincoln, but those chances for rain then pick back up Friday into the day on Saturday. And then temperatures Sunday into early next week do look fairly comfortable in the lower 60s with generally dry conditions. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state looks like this. You can see it's mainly 50s and 60s over the course of the next 10 days. Again, the exception being parts of of western Nebraska, which will be a little bit cooler over the next few days with highs in the 40s to low 50s, with anywhere from the low 50s to low 60s through the course of the week next week. Precipitation potential, again, over the next 10 days. Again, outside of today, especially for western and southwestern Nebraska, our best chance for rain will come Friday and into the day on Saturday. We'll continue to hold on to some low-end rain chances, though, as we head into the work week next week. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center looks like this. This takes us, again, all the way into the middle parts of November now, November 13th through November 19th. Climate Prediction Center continues to favor above-average temperatures for the eastern two-thirds of the state, to equal chances there for the western sections of the state. And then the precipitation outlook, which we again like to see this, considering where we've been in August, September, and October, continues to favor above-average precipitation across the area as well. Again, this will be getting into the time frame, at least, of the averaged first snow for us here in Lincoln as well. So, again, that will be something we'll have to keep an eye on. Again, a lot of it, especially as we just kind of begin to creep into this time of the year, will depend on when that precipitation falls. Again, if it's falling at maybe during the overnight hours, can't rule out maybe some snow falling. If it's falling during the day, probably not going to be snow. It would more likely favor rain. But again, a lot of it will just depend on kind of when that precipitation is falling. So again, a couple things to keep an eye on for us as we head through the day today and over the next couple days. We'll continue to keep an eye on it for you. So again, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all the latest forecast details. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. And until next time, hope everyone has a nice Wednesday.